Hey friends, in this video I want to talk to you about what is our base diet? What are we aiming for just, the average person, for general health? What are some best practices, some best principles to aim for? So the first one being that we want to get more whole foods than processed foods. So what does that mean? Well, whole foods are generally meat, vegetables, grains in its simplest form. So you literally take a steak, a head of broccoli, and a bag of rice. You make that into a meal. That's starting from whole foods and crafting your meal. What is processed foods? That's literally getting like a TV dinner with those same ingredients, but that somebody's already manipulated and worked with, and machines have modified, and there's additives, there's things removed, all that. That's processing. So you want to make the majority of your diet whole foods, and you want to minimize the amount of processed foods you're having. Things that come in a box, bag, or can is another way of looking at that. Now, that's ideal. That's perfect world. You'd do this 100% of the time, wouldn't touch the processed foods. Well, unfortunately, in our society, that would mean you'd be in the kitchen pretty much 24/7. You'd be crafting every meal from scratch. Very few people have the time for that. If you're retired or just have the free time, great. That would be ideal. But it's just not practical for a lot of people. So it's all about just balancing the two. When you can plan ahead, you can meal prep, you can make better choices, aim for those whole foods. And then try to limit the processed foods to more, special occasions, emergencies, or just if you're having an especially hard time, like time-wise that week, then you'll lean on those a little bit more. But just know that this is where we want to spend the majority of our time, and the more we can minimize those, the better. So it's always balance though, and that's where health coaching really comes in handy, is how to navigate that yourself without either, overworking, spending all your time in the kitchen, or getting everything from a box, bag, or can. So there's some nuance. So work with your health coach on that. The second thing is we'd like a majority of your diet to be, more quality fats, healthy fats, proteins, and vegetables than carbs. And really this does tie into the first one quite a bit, because generally processed foods that are easy, the things you can just grab and eat. You don't have to prep, you don't have to cook, you don't have to do anything. Those are generally carbs. Carbs are the easiest thing to just grab and go. So we want to minimize the amount of carbohydrates you're having in the form of snacking, breads, even if they're gluten-free breads. Really it's just a lot of the snack stuff. Those are the easy things to grab, and focus instead more on high quality fats like tuna, salmon, avocados, eggs. Same with proteins, getting more whole food proteins, whether it's jerky or meat cooked from scratch, or tofu, whatever you want to go for there. And then vegetables is something, obviously you want to eat vegetables for health, but it's something that can be lacking, especially when you're leaning more towards this carbohydrate side of things. So that's kind of goal number 2, which definitely ties into the whole foods and processed foods. And then lastly, gluten-free and dairy-free as consistently as you can be. It's different for everyone, for sure. There's going to be benefits had from reducing as much as you can. And ideally, we'd want you to experience what it feels like to be totally free for a couple weeks to see how your body reacts. But really, the higher percentage of the time you can do this, the better. So, quick recap: this is ideal, perfect world, what we want to aim for. Obviously, everybody's going to be a little different. That's what health coaching is for. But more whole foods, stuff cooked at home from scratch, less processed foods, less things from a box, bag, or can. More fats, proteins, and vegetables, then less carbs. Carbs typically spike blood sugar, can cause energy curves up and down, increase insulin, which causes weight gain, and just generally don't have as many of the beneficial components as these guys over here. And then lastly, to whatever percentage you can, higher the better, avoiding gluten, avoiding dairy. So I know this is kind of a big picture idea, but I always want you to know what you're aiming for just in general, and then working with a coach, getting into the specifics of your case and your specific needs can help refine this and to make more specific suggestions. So hope that helps. Always reach out if you got any questions, and thanks for watching.